Hello everybody, it's Jackson Fulcher here, and yesterday was the big Super Bowl game, and if you're someone like me, you didn't really care about the game itself, you really just cared about the movie trailers that they were going to show, and that's what this video is going to be. I've done this for the past 2 years now, so I'm going to continue the tradition. I wrote down all of the trailers that premiered at the Super Bowl, and I'm going to talk about them right now. The first one I have written down is for John Wick Chapter 2. Now, these weren't really big trailers, they were just 2 short commercials that came on in between the game, but they were really great to see. I'm really looking forward to John Wick. It comes out this weekend too, so this is like their last effort to promote the film as best as they can because it's competing with Lego Batman and 50 Shades Darker. I don't know why they thought it was a good idea to release John Wick at that same time, but it's up to them, I guess. But speaking of 50 Shades Darker, I really love the idea that they were really spoofing 50 Shades Darker in the beginning by saying slip into something a shade darker, and it's John Wick in a black tux, and I was like, that's pretty clever. And then in the second trailer, they were talking about getting some action, and instead of action like romantically, they meant John Wick shooting people, so it was clever advertising, I'll say. It's not like it was way better than any of the previous John Wick trailers we had gotten, but as a last effort like promotion for the film that people should probably see because the first movie was awesome and it's done by the same people, so that's gonna be awesome. This movie also had 2 commercials come up, and it is A Cure for Wellness. This movie comes out later this month, and it's a movie I'm really excited about, and the commercials do look very intriguing. The first commercial is a very standard one, you know, it's pretty much the trailer recapped into 30 seconds, except there's one shot where it looks like Dane DeHaan is missing a tooth, which I guess that's going to be something really dark and disturbing to see in the movie. And then in the second one, it was definitely more Super Bowl-esque commercial because it wasn't just a standard TV spot. It was starting off like an actual advertisement, like, take the cure for your wellness and stuff like that, showing some nice stuff, and then they show footage from the movie and get more dark and more disturbing. There's even one shot where not only do they show another angle of Dane DeHaan missing his tooth as people are like surrounding him, but then there's a shot of him like riding his bike, and he has like a Green Goblin face on, like if you remember him in Amazing Spider-Man 2, like he had that face on. But I'm still really interested to see A Cure for Wellness. I think this movie's gonna be really good, and I know someone who did go see the movie earlier, like a couple days ago, and he said that it was a fantastic movie, and I can't wait to see it. Now this one I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to talk about it, and that is Ghost in the Shell. I really have no experience with Ghost in the Shell in the past. I know about it, but I'm not like a dedicated fan to it. Sometimes I'll see it like start on Adult Swim, and that'll be around the time I go to bed. But I know a lot of people really love the anime Ghost in the Shell, and I know some people have been really concerned about this movie as far as adapting it from anime to live action, especially since some people got a little upset at Scarlett Johansson being cast as the lead role. But I do have a little faith in this movie because the director did Snow White and the Huntsman, and I think that's a really underrated film. I really enjoyed that movie, and so far, Ghost in the Shell visually looks very good. I think the best part about this movie could be its direction. Like the visuals, oh my god, they look awesome. Like the one shot where Scarlett Johansson is falling off the building and they cut to like a faraway shot where you can see her tiny body falling, but like there's a huge neon sign. It looks great. And I'm really interested, and this really probably doesn't have much to do with the whole film itself, or maybe I'm wrong. I'm really interested in that robot girl with the white face that'll just like pull apart like Mangle from Five Nights at Freddy's. And I will say, for someone who doesn't know what the overall plot of Ghost in the Shell is anime-wise, they're hinting at it a little bit. They're not giving away everything about the movie yet, and they're giving away certain things to get you intrigued in the plot, and I will say, I am a little intrigued. I would like to see where this goes, and maybe the movie will be good enough for me to want to watch the anime finally. Now, I am a little concerned that maybe this movie is style over substance because the direction definitely looks very strong, colors, CG, action-wise. I'm just a little concerned that as far as adapting the actual story, maybe they won't do as good a job at that part, but I'm still holding out hope because I'm a really big fan of the director. Now this next trailer, I'm going to get this out of the way because I think this is the worst one that they showed, and it's for Baywatch. Now, I get that the original show really isn't anything like amazing. It is really goofy and silly, and they're trying to recapture that with this film, obviously. Like, there's some obvious green screen at one point where Dwayne Johnson and Zac Efron, like, it's just a simple shot where they're on the beach and it looks green screen behind them. There's moments where people are running in slow motion. There's going to be big action scenes. It's going to be a really fun, goofy movie. As far as it actually being funny, though, I'm not so sure, because the movie just really doesn't look funny. And even Dwayne Johnson, who I'm a big fan of, and in the Central Intelligence movie, I thought he was really good in that as that goofy character. And then in this movie, in the trailer, I'm just like, he does not seem funny in this. Overall, maybe Baywatch could be surprising, to say the least, but so far from what I'm seeing, The next movie we're going to talk about is Life, coming out in March 24th. After watching the first trailer for Life, I didn't really know what to expect from the film plot-wise, but after seeing this trailer, I can pretty much confirm myself that it's a much more claustrophobic feeling alien film, because in the original Alien you have this futuristic spaceship people can walk around in, there's lots of room, and then in this movie it's not very futuristic, where you have to float around, there's really not much place to hide, I guess. I'm interested to see what they do with that. I also like the cast: Rebecca Ferguson, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Ryan Reynolds. I think he's going to be really good in this film. The visual effects look really good in this film. I was hoping that they wouldn't show off the alien yet, but they're keeping it a little bit vague, so that's fine. And I was really surprised to find out that the writers of this movie did Deadpool and Zombieland, so they're doing this movie now, so that's pretty cool. And the director did Safe House, which is a Ryan Reynolds, Denzel Washington movie that kind of got mixed reviews, so I don't know how this movie is going to turn out. Hopefully it doesn't feel like an obvious ripoff of Alien. I hope it stands on its own. I will say though, the worst part about the trailer was when Jake Gyllenhaal was reading Goodnight Moon. Like, as soon as he started reading that and all this stuff is happening in the trailer, I was just like, that's kind of lame. The next trailer we have up is for Logan. Now this movie looks awesome. I cannot wait to see this film. That being said though, as far as like marketing, like promoting it, they didn't really do much to amaze me. They didn't really show anything new, except for one shot of Stephen Merchant's character, Caliban. He looks freaky. I love it. I can't wait to see him. But as far as anything else, it's pretty much like, yeah, the guy with the metal arm and the other people are hunting down Wolverine, X-23, and Professor X. It's like, I've seen this kind of before. You've even seen some of the shots where they're in the forest. It's pretty much just the same trailers that you've already seen, just with one cool new shot of Caliban. So really, it was an okay Super Bowl trailer. That being said, I'm still excited for it, don't get me wrong. It's just as a Super Bowl trailer where you're supposed to kind of get people amped up, like, yeah, R-rated Wolverine movie, let's go. They didn't really do anything new with it, just here's pretty much the trailers you've already seen and one new shot. And now we have Transformers: The Last Night. As is Super Bowl tradition, whenever these Transformers movies are coming out, they have to show a Super Bowl trailer, and they did, and it looks good. If you've seen my trailer review for Transformers: The Last Night, you know how I feel about this movie. I am cautiously, emphasis on the cautiously optimistic for the film, because they went through a lot of changes development-wise, because they're trying to set up this Transformers cinematic universe. They got rid of Aaron Kruger as the writer. They brought in the writers of Iron Man and Black Hawk Down. And I'm hoping that Michael Bay just didn't come in after the writer's room did so much work, and he didn't just ruin all that and said, I'm just going to make whatever I want to make, screw you guys. I hope Michael Bay didn't do that. I hope this movie is the best Transformers film that we've gotten. That being said, maybe it's not. I'm still not entirely sold on the visual effects. It still looks like Age of Extinction, and the visual effects in Age of Extinction, in my opinion, looked awful. They showed a little bit more of the fight between Optimus Prime and Bumblebee, and that's probably going to be really cool, hopefully. And they pretty much confirmed at this point that the creators have basically taken over Optimus Prime, because you hear this woman's voice talking like, do you seek redemption? And Optimus goes, my maker, I do. And his eyes go red, and it's like, okay, so I guess they took over him, and he's going back to Earth for something, I guess. Apparently, according to the plot synopsis, he's going back to Earth to look for an artifact that is on Earth, and I think that's what that metal platform out in the ocean is for. I will say, though, there's one other thing that concerns me with this film, and that is the Independence Day aspect that they're giving off. Like in Independence Day Resurgence, you know, in that movie, when the mothership crashes down, it pretty much covers, like, the majority of the Earth and knocks some stuff off the moon. And then in this trailer, they show this huge Cybertronian thing, maybe it's Unicron, who knows, coming down, covering the majority of the Earth, and knocking over the ark that we saw in Dark of the Moon on the moon. So I'm a little worried that we're going into some Independence Day territory here. but hopefully not. And one other thing, we still haven't seen any other Autobot. We've seen Optimus, and we've seen Bumblebee, and we got one quick shot of Grimlock, I guess, busting out of the ground, which is cool, I guess. But we don't see Crosshairs or Drift or Hound or Hot Rod or any other one they're teasing. There's no Decepticons. We just get that weird robot that Bumblebee blasted into a million pieces in the first trailer, and the robot who looks like he got shot in the chest looking at Isabel Moner. I don't know if that means we're going to be focusing more on Bumblebee in this film and the other Autobots are going to get sidelined. But hey, we'll see what happens when the Michael Bay Fest comes out this June. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, when this trailer came on during the Super Bowl, I literally lost my mind because I did not expect it to play. But when it did, hey man, I was on board and I loved this trailer. I especially love the opening where you have Elizabeth Debicki, I think that's how you pronounce her name, is like entirely gold, and she asked, "Who are you guys?" And Star-Lord just goes, "Well," and then from there on we get a lot of cool other moments in the trailer. Yondu still blowing that whistle thing and killing people. That's looked pretty sweet. It looked really awesome in the first movie. Can't wait to see Yondu back in this one. Gamora had this huge gun though that was like twice her size that surprised me, and I was like, holy crap. There's a Christmas Story reference in this trailer. I'm convinced that it's a Christmas Story reference because Groot says, "I am Groot," and Yondu goes, what did he say? And Rocket goes, "He just said, welcome to the frickin' Guardians of the Galaxy." Only he didn't say frickin'. And I was like, that sounds exactly like the line from A Christmas Story. Did James Gunn just reference A Christmas Story in the MCU? That is pretty sweet. And of course, they picked the perfect way to end the trailer with Drax. You have Mantis like getting hit with some metal object, and Drax at the last minute goes, "Look out!" And then he ends off the trailer going, "I tried, guys." I am convinced that Dave Bautista is gonna steal this movie. He is too awesome in these trailers. Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales also really surprised me with showing up, not just because they had a really surprising shot of Will Turner back, played by Orlando Bloom. I honestly wasn't really expecting him to show up in this trailer, but hey, that looks cool. And they also showed off more of this villainous pirate army led by Javier Bardem. Their crew is all ghostly-like, where they can run on top of water, and they're running towards Kea Scodelario's character, who is, if you know who she is, she's from the Maze Runner movies. So I guess her character's kind of important. We get a shot of Barbossa looking really scared and Javier Bardem jumping down behind him. And we finally get one shot of Jack Sparrow. He's covered in like mud and he has some rum and he goes, "A pirate's life." And they end the trailer there. I'm honestly really excited to see what they do with this new Pirates movie. I am a fan of the Pirates of the Caribbean series. Yeah, 3's not that great, but the others I really enjoy, and I can't wait to see what the new directors do because they did a movie called Kon-Tiki that was nominated for some Oscar. And I'm really interested to see what they do, especially Javier Bardem. I cannot wait to see him as the villain. The Fate of the Furious, this movie looks like a lot of fun. The perfect trailer to show during the Super Bowl, a movie that is just pure adrenaline, action-packed fun, and this movie I cannot wait to see. One thing I can't wait to see is Jason Statham and Dwayne Johnson. They have one scene where they're kind of quipping back and forth with each other, and I'm like, that's gonna be awesome to see. And another thing I'm just really curious about still from the first trailer, because aside from just the one quippy lines we see from Jason Statham and Dwayne Johnson, there's not really that much new in this commercial. I'm just still really interested to see why Vin Diesel turned on his family, if he's being brainwashed or he's being blackmailed or something. And I'm also really curious to know who Charlize Theron is, because I heard some rumors back a while ago that she was playing Jason Statham's sister, but I don't know if that's what they're going for because Jason Statham is on their team, or maybe that's the whole plan to get Jason Statham on their team so she can help break him out. I'm not sure, but hey, it looks like a lot of fun. I can't wait to see what F. Gary Gray has done with this film because he did The Italian Job. That was another car movie that was really fun. And the last trailer I'm going to talk about here was really sweet, and that is Stranger Things Season 2. I did not review Season 1 a while back, and I feel really bad for that because Season 1 was spectacular. I should have reviewed it, and I still might before Season 2 comes out this Halloween, but I'm just still super pumped to see Stranger Things Season 2 because the first season was just done so well, and they ended off on a cliffhanger that was actually investing, where I was actually like, I want to see this story continue. And the cliffhanger wasn't just such an obvious one, it just felt so simplistic, where it felt like everything was wrapping up, but then they give you one last thing to make you go, oh, what else is there? And even with this trailer, they're still being super vague. You see the kids dressed up as Ghostbusters. I guess the season's gonna take place during Halloween, which is why it comes out during Halloween, which will be pretty freaky, I guess. There's one shot of like the sky where they show some other monster out there. Like, I don't know what that is, but I can't wait to see that. And I also really love how this commercial opened with the Lego My Eggo commercial, and then we get the shot of Eleven's eyes opening. I'm guessing that's 11 because someone calls out her name during that time. It's just such a perfect way to open that, since 11 really does love Eggo waffles as seen in season 1. So it's kind of the perfect, like, funny thing to open this trailer up before showing a lot of ominous stuff for the remaining 25 seconds. Overall, I love Stranger Things season 1 and season 2. I cannot wait to see. I want to see more of it right now. That teaser was the perfect thing to get me excited for Stranger Things again. And I love you, Duffer Brothers. But what are your opinions on the Super Bowl trailers? Which one was your favorite? My favorite, I think it's Guardians of the Galaxy. That trailer was super awesome. But what's your favorite? Leave it in the comments below. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.